ways to love yourself. We're going to talk about loving yourself and speaking up for yourself. So this is 3 ways in life. One is in life. So this is going to be 3 ways of speaking up for yourself. 1 in life, 1 in partnership, and 1 in work. So we're actually going to do it in life, like dealing with, just everyday things, speaking up for yourself when it comes to walking down the street and someone says something inappropriate to you, or dealing with a cop pulling you over or something and it's inappropriate. How do you speak up for yourself? Things of that nature. At work, dealing with boundaries with coworkers. How do you speak up and say it in a way in which you feel not only comfortable, but is confident, but not coming from a place of fear? So therefore you don't shout out, you don't yell out and say things inappropriately or necessarily the wrong way. I don't believe in right and wrong. Y'all should know me by now. If you're not used to my channel, come on a regular basis, you will see I don't really necessarily believe in the right and wrong. I believe in what's right and wrong for you. So this is just helping you to speak up when it comes to those types of things. Also, and then the third, we're going to talk about speaking up in partnerships. Okay, so it's 3 ways, three ways in life, work, and partnerships. Okay, so overall, the purpose of speaking up for yourself. The purpose of speaking up for yourself is about asking for help, asking for what your needs are, asking for your needs to be met. I'm turning this down so we don't hear I'm hearing it over here too, so. How you doing? Hello, peace, love, yes. Okay, all right, thank you. Because I get a little ahead of myself sometimes. Okay, so yes. So why do you need to speak up for yourself? Why do you feel like I'm telling you this, right? Because most of the time you don't want to speak up for yourself because you want to seem, again, it's something about this whole timid thing. And especially when it comes to women, like, oh no, I need to be meek and mild. And I need to make sure that I don't say the wrong thing. Otherwise I'll be looked at ... right? But it's not just that. See, that's the perception of so-called I like to call it the Mother Mary horse syndrome. What men love, right? They want you to be their mother, Mary, like, you had this baby out of, and then the whore, all in the same, it's this Mother Mary horse syndrome. But nonetheless, so it's like you're supposed to be a woman out in the streets and then a certain way, in the sheets, right? But this comes down to you really not just trying to live up to someone else's expectations, but many times it comes down to you not wanting to reveal what it is that you really want. One, because you're afraid of rejection. You're afraid that someone's going to look at you sideways like, I'm not giving you that. Also, you're afraid to speak up because you don't want to deal with the conflict. That's the biggest one. The biggest one is I really just want to avoid the conflict. Some people say it's all about the, oh, I need things to be a certain way. It's all about I'm trying to be meek and mild, but really you're really afraid. You're really afraid to speak up for yourself because you're afraid people going to turn you down. Like I said, the rejection, you're afraid of the backlash. Like some people in relationships with men or women who lash out, who act a pure D fool when you speak up for yourself. They're like, what? How dare you? How dare you question me? How dare you even ask me such a thing? Of course I love you. Of course I want to do what's best in your best interest. Of course, of course, of course. They're right. Man, if you don't get out of here. That is so not true. Okay, people looking out for their best interest know that. Okay, let me tell you first and foremost, people are looking out for their first and foremost for their best interest. It's a human nature. It's survival of the fittest. Human nature. It's human nature for people to want to look out for their best interest. So know that. So know that when it comes to life, when it comes to you being even in a grocery store, when it comes to you even being in, having a confrontation with someone, people get attorneys for reasons. That's why you have lawyers and things for a reason, so they can fight on your behalf because that other person wants to seem like they, don't get me started. But, it's so you don't have to deal with the confrontation, for instance. So all that, let's back it up. Why do you need to speak up today? You need to speak up because it's best for you. You need to speak up for what's best for you. I'm not going to tell you what to do. But at the end of the day, you need to speak up in your relationships and life, love, work, what have you, because at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for you. Loving yourself means you have to pour back into yourself, one, but loving yourself from the beginning. To pour back into yourself, you have to have something already there. And if you haven't filled yourself up enough to feel like you deserve what it is that you need, desire, want, what have you, then that is the reason why you feel like you can't ask the question. Ask for what you want. Get what you want. So let's go ahead and get started. So one, let's start with you. Being honest enough with yourself to know what it is that you want. So sometimes don't we all, especially as women, and y'all tell me in the comments here, whether or not, you feel like it's okay for you to ask for what you want. That is deeply ingrained, especially in women. Can you ask for what you want? Men are supposed to be all powerful. Men are all knowing. That's so funny. But, they're the ones who are supposed to be okay and allowed to ask for what they want. Go after what they want. But if you do this in life, at a grocery store, to the cops, at your job, in your relationships, someone's gonna look at you sideways sometimes. Unless they already used to you kind of acting that way, But they're gonna look at you sideways because they're like, that's not ladylike. They have all kinds of excuses. That's not what you're supposed to do. You're a woman. You're not supposed to act like that. So one, you already have been conditioned not to speak up for yourself from a child. From a child, they're telling you, oh no, don't do that. You can't be loud in the grocery store. You can't be loud in a restaurant. I did it to my child, I'm telling you. We had, I forget Barney, okay, we had it to where this is restaurant time. This is how you act. You sit like this, pris and prim, this is what you do. You act a certain way when you're out in public, right? So it's taught by parents. It's taught by, like I said, society, so on and so forth. So let's start with the first one. So we already talked about you being afraid to ask for what you want. You have to be honest enough with yourself. And I just want to caveat to that. Being honest enough with yourself means that you have to feel like it's okay. So you have to first feel like it's okay to want what you want, and then you can ask for what you want. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, guys? Speak up. Yes. Okay. Yes. So then you can speak up for yourself. So first of all, you have to know that it's okay for you to speak up for yourself. Okay. So, but then, like I said, another reason why we choose not to speak up for ourselves is to avoid conflict. You don't want the backlash. You're afraid. You're afraid of what people will say to you. You're afraid of how they will say it. They may yell at you. They may scream. Heck, they may try to even be physically abusive. There's so many things that you're avoiding, which is the reason why you may not want to speak up for yourself. So you have to think about that as well. I know I have a girlfriend of mine. She's not watching, is she? Okay, she's not watching, is she? Not yet anyway. She avoids conflict at every turn, and it's so she can have peace in her home. And I feel like many of us are avoiding conflict to have peace. But yet it seems like peace, but it's really not peace, because you may need a drink at night. You might need to smoke a little something. You may go outside, smoke a little whatever, Whatever it is, you are coping with this fact that you can't speak up for yourself, that you're not allowed to even speak up for yourself, okay? So let's start off in life. Okay, so we started with the examples. Police pulls you over. Shoot, in a grocery store. Someone gives you back the wrong amount of money, change. You getting your hair fixed. You're getting your makeup done. Whatever it is, and someone does it the wrong way. You don't like it. Instead of speaking up for yourself, you just say, okay, well, I'll just take it. Or you don't go back, or you continue to go back. I have an aunt that got her hair done. She came into town. The reason why I was late, guys, is because I had to deal with a death in the family, which is unfortunate, and it was so quick. But, part of this is also, again, about speaking up for yourself, because a part of that was, it was cancer. And, I don't know if you guys know me all that well, but I'm into natural healing and all of that, holistic healing. And even when it comes to dealing with doctors, your prescriptions, your health. You will listen to someone else give you the best thing for you. Yes, they may be important. Yes, they may be all knowledgeable about certain things, but they may not necessarily always know what's best for you. So you have to also take time when it comes to even doctors. And I know that's a scary one. That's a very scary one. At any rate, with my aunt, she had cancer. And she's been fighting it for years. She came back, she recovered, then like 10 or 15 years later, it came back. And towards the end of her life, she chose to go a natural route. We found out a lot of information towards the end, unfortunately. But the point is, all along the way, it was signs stating that, maybe chemo wasn't the best thing, or maybe there are other options out there. But doctors, other people will tell you that you can't choose another option, that there are no other options, and it's all a lie. So when it comes to your doctors, when it comes to, like I said, your hairdresser, when it comes to the police pulling you over, you were wrong, you can go to court still and contest that. I just talked to another one of my girlfriends about that, contesting something that happened to her with a cop that, was very disrespectful to her. And she did nothing wrong, absolutely nothing wrong. And she ended up winning her court case. So that was awesome. It's so many instances through life. Like I said, at the grocery store, somebody gives you back the wrong change. You don't say anything about it. You say, okay, never mind. They might have wanted to steal the money. They may not have wanted to steal it. They might have, whatever it is. That's not the point. The point is just speaking up and saying, you know what, sir, I think you gave me back the wrong change. Yes, you know what, ma'am, I think you gave me back the wrong change. But again, when it comes down to you being afraid, you're not going to want to say anything about it. So let's recap on that. Doesn't matter who they are. Everybody has, I'm not saying everyone is maliceful, because I don't think doctors do it on purpose. I don't think all police do it on purpose. These are just certain situations that come in life, and I'm not saying anything negative about anyone. What I'm saying is people are going to look out for themselves. And when it came to that police officer, they were trying to go through hell or high water to claim they didn't do what they did, because they were trying to hide who they were, because they did not want people to perceive them a certain way. They were trying to watch their own back. So you have to know that you have to watch your back in life. At the grocery store, at the hair salon, at the nail salon, whatever it is. I'm saying all these salons like, I go all these places. No, I don't. Yes, I do. And I've had to deal with cops too, and doctors as well. But the one thing I must impress upon you, when I went through this whole bereavement process, and I'm still going through it, I'm telling you, the one thing I learned so much about, and this was a family member that I just got to really know. She was 70 years old, but she always lived very far from us, so we didn't get to know her all too well. And what I found out was that she was living her life in fear in many ways, like a lot of women in my family, living their life in fear of speaking up over certain things, so they cope in many ways. So one of the reasons why I wanted to have this conversation with you guys is just to remind you that it is okay. And I know that conflict will come, but you have to realize that if you go into it knowing that conflict may come, you may be able to look at it a little differently. Sometimes conflict won't come, and it's still great for you. But at the end of the day, I need you to love yourself so much that you love yourself so much that you go ahead and be so deeply honest with yourself that you speak up for yourself, because that is so important. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. So, because it's just really important to me. Women are my life. Women are what is part of my purpose, and it's upliftment of women. Women have been torn down for so long, and I'm pissed and I'm tired. I mean, literally tired. I'm tired of you accepting any damn thing that comes across your way. I'm tired of you accepting whatever anybody says and say, you know what? They're looking out for my best interest, so I'm going to go ahead and accept it. It's bull. It's not. And it's really because, and if you look deeper within yourself, you'll realize you're afraid of something. And that's what I'm trying to get to here. Here we talk about getting to the core. What is it that you really are afraid of? And it's the fear that stops you from speaking up for yourself. So, all right, let's go on to work. Number 2, at work. Why are you afraid to speak up at work? Let me give you examples. Oh, by the way, hi guys. Hi, Yvette, how you doing? Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know you guys are going through it too. So I know I'm not out here alone. I know you need this. So that's why I'm here. So nonetheless, at work, you're afraid to speak up because maybe your boss may retaliate. You may have co-workers that want you to do something for them that they don't want to do the work for themselves. And I know some of you have been in that instance too, where you've been working on something. It could be in the house. It could be whatever it is. People passing a buck. Oh, I need you to do this for me. So you turn into basically a people pleaser, trying to make sure that you please everyone that's around you because you are afraid of conflict. For you out there, for some of you who are out there that are people pleasers, let me help you. Oh, Lord. If you feel like you have to do what people need you to do in order to just get by, know that you will be doing that for the rest of your life. I remember my aunt told me a long time ago, when you get married, don't start doing anything you don't want to do for the rest of your life. I don't believe that. Been married twice, number 3 on the way. No, but I don't believe that because I feel like if I did it for you, it was a favor. I like doing it at the time. I don't like doing it no more. I'm not gonna do it anymore. It's not fair to me if I don't want to do it anymore. You want me to do it? I don't want to do it. I'm not gonna do it. Okay. So, but it's true, kind of like when it comes to like work, life, things of that nature. You may think you're starting off nice, and oh, okay, sure, I'll do this for you. Okay, sure, I'll do that for you. And people are piling work on top of you. And again, this could be at home, chores. Sorry to call it chores, but it could be cleaning your home, keeping your home up, keeping your car up. I mean, whatever it is. People want to borrow your car, borrow your house, borrow all your stuff. And then they don't want to put it back to the way it should be. Or at work, they give you all of this work, piling it on top of you, taking the work off themselves so they can move up or seem grandiose because they got the one thing done while you had 20 things to do, setting you up for failure. You have to realize that at some point you have to break that cycle. And I know some of you are out there, you have to break the cycle. And actually state, why am I doing this? Is this you sure this is not your work? You sure? Because I have other things to do also. Is it that you just need help today, or is it because you're trying to leave early and so in those instances there, that's again, you just speak up nicely, and people may act like, again, a pure D fool. No, it's gonna come. It's okay. They can act like a fool and just watch them. Really? Just give them that. Really? I see. Oh, okay. All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate you doing that. I appreciate you keeping that work. Or, all right. So you can do it in a very nice, gentle way and let them go off. You don't have to be the one to go off. And usually when you decide to go off or you are going off at that moment, you're going off because at that point, you're done. You've waited too long. Another I have stories for days. Another one of my girlfriends, had to deal with that at work. I have stories about me too, but I try to bring theirs into play as well. Dealing with someone at your job, at work, or what have you, someone who knows that you're better than them. Not better, but as far as work, maybe more experience, things of that nature. And so you come in, new kid on the block, have new knowledge, and then they're afraid of that. So then they want to belittle you or say little snide comments about you. In those cases there, she kind of shut down and she was like, she would kind of go home crying. That at a certain point, she just went off. She kirked out, and just really just told it like it was. And at that point, again, we discussed it. At that point, it was too late. At that point, you needed to get it all off your chest. At that point, you had to say it like it was. And there was no post bar. You didn't even care, at that point. At that point, it's not too late because I still think you need to do it, but I'm just saying it's maybe going to be harder for you to keep a sense of calm. If you say it up front in the beginning, it makes it easier for you. So when you speak up at your calmest point, that's when you can really let it out in a gentle, nice way. If you want to go that route, you can not be nice and just say it like it is. But the point is, you will say it out of a sense of confidence versus a sense of fear. At that point, when you've gotten to that point, that later point in that relationship with that person, that coworker, and again at work, you're not allowed to really go off. As a woman, you're too passionate if you go off. As a man, oh yes, Tommy, I get it. Yes, go, go guy, whatever, pat him on the butt, whatever, like in basketball, I don't know, but But women is different. And that's why, we all in it together. Just know we all in it together. You're too passionate. You need to just wait to get your promotion. It will come. You'll be waiting 10, 20, 30 years waiting for it to come. Okay? So just know that sometimes you need to ask for what you want in those cases as well. If it's asking for a promotion, if it's asking for, I don't know, supplies even, and you're afraid to go to the secretary because the secretary got an attitude. Ask for it, make sure you document it if necessary. And when it comes to work, I'm a proponent of documentation. You ask somebody for something, you already know that they may be snide with you, ignorant, be a butthole, a pure D butthole about it. Then in those cases, I would say, go ahead and send them an email, leave them a note, whatever. I mean, I would do the email because you can leave tracks of what happened. I asked them once, I asked them twice, I asked them 3 times, they didn't give it to me. So when you go to the next person, okay, well, I asked so-and-so for it, their boss or whatever, they didn't provide it to me. And just leave it at that. Don't get angry. Just know that some people don't want to do it. For whatever reason. And it's not because, again, they're trying to be a butthole. It just could be they had a bad day. It could be so many different reasons. It could be that they're lazy. Don't get it wrong. I know some of y'all in here they're lazy. They lazy. But but some of them, they are lazy. But it doesn't even matter what's going on with them. It matters what's going on with you. And you don't want to have your life contingent upon someone else. So all of that to say, you need to then speak up for you in those instances. So that is work. Okay? So I'm going to check down here really quick and let's see if we have any questions here. Any comments? I'm looking at the comments here. Invading your privacy. Yeah, they'll do that too. And just go and get it for the, yeah. Right. She said the issue she had is involving privacy. So I agree with that as well. Not being able to get that privacy. How do you ask for that? Get that. Some people in my office, they will leave a note saying don't touch anything, things of that nature. Also, confronting those people that may take something from your desk. You see something at their desk, you're like, look, did you get this from my desk? I'd appreciate if you ask me for it at least so I can know if I need to get it back from you in case you forget, because people thieves, somebody, I was a thief almost today, I was about to take somebody's fan today. I was about to put it in my purse. I meant to put my phone in my purse, but I put their fan in my purse and I realized and I gave it back to them. But again, it may not be out of malice. It's just simply, it is what it is, okay? So let's go ahead to the third one. Let's see how you work in relationships. Now, we all know this is what you're really here for. You want to know how to deal with your relationship. Speak up in your relationship, with your partnerships. How to make it clear in your partnerships. I'm a proponent of, 1, being confident, not speaking through fear, speaking in a loving manner, but setting is also very important to me. Meaning, like, what's the weather like? If your mate, or if your mate is not ready for the conversation because, I don't know, again, like in this case, a death in the family, do you really want to bring up the fact that, he never brings home cereal and you need cereal, do you really want to bring that up at that time? So that's a drastic example. But let me bring it back to you. How about, you had a long day at work, they had a long day at work, people pissed you off at work, you don't know what happened to them at work. And so now you're going in, this house is not clean, the car is not washed, the kids are not this, the kids going off on the kids, going off on your parents, going off on your sister, going off on your cousin, going off on your husband, going off on everybody. And again, these partnerships are closer to you, so you feel like you can go off on those people. But again, I really believe you have to check where you are. If you know you had a bad day and you just really need to relax, take that time to first check in with you. I think what's most important is, again, you pouring into yourself, check in with you. If you had a long day, before you even get involved in all of that, I know you probably pissed when you came home or whatever, or someone called you and said the wrong thing to you. Just quickly, you know what, let me call you back. And just hang up. You ain't even got to wait for their response. Oh, you know what, I'm doing something real quick. I'm going to call you real quick. I'll call you right back. Okay? You came home, whatever. Okay, yeah, not right now, kids. Y'all go ahead, finish your homework, do something. I'm gonna go get in the tub. I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick because you gotta do what's best for you first, and then you can again check where you are. Because again, by the time you speak up and you're pissed and angry, and it's not that I'm not saying don't go off, because sometimes you need to go off. You need to let off some steam. I will tell someone, you know what, I'm about to vent. Get ready. I had a bad day. This mother da 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 da. And you know what they told me? I go off, high pitch and all. My voice get high. My voice gets very high. So I mean, it goes from they said, then you can't. Can you believe it? You know what? I mean, it just gets louder and louder, and I don't even realize it. I do. I kind of do. I realize it. But then that's when I got to check myself, because when I get louder, my voice, my voice pitch gets higher. I realize I have to check in with my heart as well. My heart is beating fast. You'll realize that. Your heart is beating fast. So I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just saying check in with yourself to make sure that is something you can expend. Because many times when you expend that, you're putting a lot out there. And can your body handle it? Can your situation handle it at that time? So these are some of the reasons why you want to speak up, but speak up in a certain way, or speak up at a certain time. So in partnerships, you definitely want to look at your setting. Where are you in this conversation? Okay. Where are you when it comes to this partnership at this moment? Where are you when you just walked in the house? Where are you when you just came to the job? Where are you when someone just pulled you over? Where are you? Check in with you first. And then you'll realize, okay, when I check in with me, where am I? And am I willing to expend this on this cop? Am I willing to expend this on the hairdresser? Am I willing to expend it in that way? I'm not saying don't speak up. I'm saying speak up. But check with yourself first. Calm down for a minute. I don't care. Count back from 10, 9, 8. Break it down. Turn on some music that you love. Something that's going to bring you back. Start singing if you want. That will help you as well. If you know certain things that kind of get you, sometimes people may want to run. I run in the morning to kind of clear my head, get up and out. You may need to do something for you again, and that's why we're here. We're pouring back into ourselves. You might need to do something with you first before you start dealing with all these other things that are there. And trust me, they'll be there when you come back out the tub. They'll be there when you come back from your run. They'll be there when you stay in the car for a moment and just listen to that song and you just dance and you're like, what? They'll be there. All those issues will be there when you finish doing what you need to do. And that's why I'm saying it's important for you to check in with yourself, because once you check in with yourself, then you can now go and do what it is that you want to do. So in your partnership, again, setting is very important. Make sure you also, again, going back to know what your wants and desires are. Okay. So, for you partners out there, if you want to get some in the morning, he want to get some at night, you might need to switch back and forth. Look, I'm tired at night, but in the morning, I'm fresh. Let's do it. Let's get it on. But I need to say that. You need to say that. You need to speak up for yourself. You know your body and things better than anyone else. But sometimes you need to say those things. And it's not embarrassing. It is what it is. You know you better than anyone else. I hope, right? I hope you do. If you don't, again, you need to pour back into yourself. Find out who you are. And let me just take a quick turn here. People come out of marriages, divorces, children grow up, life changes. You change from not having children to having children, things like that. You have ongoing changes in your life. Ongoing. So your desires are going to change. If they're not changing and you're still doing the same thing you did 50 years ago, it's because you're afraid to make that change. That's a way to identify that. And of course, you all know that you can always go to my website at www.GracefulHealingRetreat.com in order to get services with me, to where you could talk spiritual coaching, things of that nature. But so that can help you. But you really should know who you are in marriage, with children, with your family, no matter what. Who are you? If you don't know, you need to check in with yourself. Who am I? What would make me happy at this moment? When I come in the house and the house looks a mess, what would make me happy at this moment? Maybe you need to get help. Maybe you need a maid. Maybe you need to keep the kids in one part of the house or something. Maybe, I mean, your roommates, you may have roommates and they're just trifling as all get out. Maybe you need to tell them, look, I need you to put the cereal up. I need you to do this. We're going to have rats, whatever. Maybe you need to find your way on out of that apartment with those roommates. Whatever it is. Start making those moves and changes. Don't just stay in it because it's familiar. It's okay. Change is what people are avoiding also, along with this speaking up for themselves. If you speak up for yourself right, you're going to have to back it up. I don't like when you do this. And then when they do it, you're like, didn't I just tell them I didn't like it? Oh, well, they're not going to do what I asked them to do. Like in partnerships, your parents, your children, your siblings, whatever it is, friends, that you told them, I don't like it when you call me 3 o'clock in the morning. You know, don't do it, please. And then they do it anyway. When they do it that time, you say immediately. That's what this is about, checking it immediately. Didn't I tell you not to call me 3 o'clock in the morning? Didn't I tell you not to text me 3 o'clock in the morning? I'd appreciate it. And just check it. Check it, and then see what happens the next time. They may even apologize, whatever, but you have to speak up because people forget too. And change is not just for you, it's for them too. Because if you have had a habit for a long time, that habit's going to continue, okay? And not only you, but in the other person. That person has gotten used to you acting that way. So, okay. All right. So let's go ahead to the next one. So in partnerships again, so we have settings. Knowing what your wants and desires are. Now, sometimes, again, silence is golden. I'll tell you when to use that as well. Because I'm telling you, you really want something done? Be quiet, but in a way that's loud. Obvious quietness. Not just quiet because that's what you normally do all the time. This is quiet because, okay, I already told you. I told you once, twice, 3 times. Now it's just a matter of you making a change because they did not abide by what it is that you want. But we'll go into that when it comes to especially boundaries, okay? So, all right, guys. So number 3, we already done with number 3. So overall, I just want to wrap it up. Being calm and confident, speaking up what you need. I just have to tell this story in regards to a vehicle I bought for my daughter. We went to the auction, we bought a car. I just want to preface this statement with, I went off, okay? I might look like the purity fool in that situation, but I want to let you know, but it was necessary. It was necessary. And I was pissed because I had to go through it. Basically, I bought a vehicle. They never gave me the title. It was over 30 days in the state of Virginia. If they do not give you a title within 30 days, you can return the vehicle and get 100% refund. I didn't know all this at the time when I just knew something wasn't right. And I knew that I was like, well, I can't even register my car. I'm like, I don't even think this is my car because I just didn't fully know. But I knew something wasn't right with this situation. And this was after, I want to say like 2 or 3 things that just went wrong in that day. And I might not have wanted to speak up the first time. I might not have wanted to speak up the second time. Or I spoke up, but maybe I just didn't. And this is something you may be afraid of too, speaking up, but not getting what it is that you want, right? And I think I said that earlier. But I spoke up, and at this time, I was like, I'm going to get what I want. I had an abundance mindset, and I was like, I'm going to manifest what it is that I want right here, right now. And it may require me to come out and show off, but it was going to happen. So I literally had to go back to the dealership. I called the dealership multiple times, asking them for my title. I tried it. I tried it nice. I tried it the nice way. And they kept giving me the runaround. They were like, okay, well, it'll be here next week. They gave me a new tag. They gave me a 30-day tag. And so after 30 days, you can go back for your refund, right? I went up there to get my second set of 30-day tags because they called me and said the title wasn't in yet. Here was the second 30-day tags. And then I called them and was like, so what happens if it doesn't come at the end of these tags? They said, we're going to give you a third one. And I was like, that ain't right. That was wrong. I was like, are you serious? Like, that doesn't even make sense.